What's up, guys? Bullva the Fell-Handed here, bringing you the Art of the Hellcat Part 11. We are on Ghost Town Standard Battle. The greens started in the southwest part of the board, and the reds have spawned in the northeast part of the board. I have one other person with me, and a light tank makes the perfect spotter. You cannot beat it with a stick. Now, you know, this situation, honestly, if you go to the hill to my direct right, you can fire on the center of the map there, about F6, around that area. It's kind of hard unless you're actually looking through the scope. Or, you know, you can obviously fire on the J9 area. Like, I'm going up here, and I'm just like, okay, so it's going to be a parking lot. And, you know, the Hellcat is kind of the same tank along the Batchat line. You know, it has exceptional camo, and you pull up into a position, and what happens is somebody pulls behind you, you don't see them, and you get shot because the reds are shooting at them. That's kind of what happens. So, you know, we don't necessarily want that, but at the same time, we're going to get that because, you know, we are in that current position. We have a number of guys with us here, and you know, the idea here is we're just going to try to put some fire on some things. I don't really know what the plan of the other greens up here with me is. I'm putting rounds down range here, and you see, this is the area that I'm talking about. You can shoot, especially when they're coming up that hill to the slight right. If you notice that little pile of rubble, they come up right past that. Perfect shots. If you're in a medium or TD, I highly recommend this. If you're in a heavy, please do not set up here. Make sure you push your front. You know, a lot of guys, I used to think, well, you know, as long as you're doing damage, you're fine. I don't really think that anymore, because if the heavies aren't on the front line, other tanks less suited to that role are going to have to fulfill that role. Your mediums and your TDs, which typically don't have the armor that can stand up to that type of beating or the HP amount. So, you know, that's why I kind of say, you know, you really need to focus on what your role is in battle to make sure, you know, you do your job. We have a guy here, a poor guy, giving up side shots. It tracked us. You know how that was going to end. I think using Electo, those things typically don't have a lot of health to begin with. So, you know, what are you going to do? Moving on. I decided to get off this hill because it's more of a parking lot than it is anything. Besides, we're not really pulling loads of damage off of that hill. Sometimes you can get up there and you can just put rounds down range. But my partner here in the BIS, I believe, was calling for help. So we decided to zoom down the hill and give the guy some backup, or at least try to. Granted, you know, I was just momentarily ago speaking about roles, which, you know, I am putting myself in a position that this tank does not excel at, which is close range combat. So, you know, we're just going to do what we can and make the best of it. You know, can you use a tank for a role it's not designed for? Sure. Will it do a good job? Probably not. But that's okay, because you know what? We're going to see what happens. We're going to go up here, and we're going to see if we can't point blank some people. And, you know, have a decent game. Scoping in right here. Oh, beautiful shot right there. Put one in him. Wasn't even looking at us. Speaking of slow traverse, these tanks right here are legendary for having slow traverse. We go ahead and finish him off, get him off the board. He put one in us. We're not, you know, very, very crazy about that, because it really hurt us. And, you know, some tanks, of course, are just going to do more damage than others. You know, if Artie ever puts a hole in one on this tank, you know, you're going back to the garage. That's the problem with open top tanks, that they, you know, normally don't do very well versus Artie. Of course, no tank really does if the Artie is exceptionally powerful. Trying to put a round in the back of this guy right here. Ended up putting one in him. He is not even looking at us, and this is my favorite type of combat here, to shoot at someone when they are otherwise indisposed or not looking at you. You can't beat it. That is the life of the medium. Granted, heavies, you know, everybody always faces the heavies, the really armored TDs. You know, push up in the middle, the AT line, you know, your E3s. But, you know, tanks like this, you don't really want to see them mucking around on the front line because they're going to get tore up more often than not. Right now, you know, guys, we're just mopping up. I mean, it's your in-game, you know, mop up right here, and that's kind of what we're trying to get done here. It's just, you know, essentially it's just a fight for damage. So, you know, we had a good game. Didn't lose too many guys. Lost about 6 or 7, maybe 8. I don't know, I can't count. At any rate, guys, 1481, not fantastic, but okay. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share, guys.